on the TVC Breakfast Show, we truly believe that time is of the essence. The past, the present, and of course the future. Now this segment is what we like to call notable timelines, here to remind you of who, what, and where. Now, King Charles III and Queen Camilla are set to host Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu in the country's first state visit to the United Kingdom in 37 years. President Tinubu and First Lady Oluremi Tinubu will be guests of the King at Windsor Castle from the 18th to the 19th of March. Now, state visits are regarded as a key element of diplomatic engagement, using ceremonial tradition to reinforce political and economic partnerships. The last Nigerian state visit to the UK actually took place in 1989, when the then military ruler, General Ibrahim Babangida, visited Queen Elizabeth II. Although this will be President Tinubu's first formal state visit to the UK, he has met the King on previous occasions, including at Buckingham Palace in 2024 and during talks on the sidelines of the COP summit in Dubai. This visit comes at a time of strengthening ties between both countries, with annual trade between the UK and Nigeria now valued at more than £8 billion. We're about to have some very interesting discourse and dialogue on that. But before I hand over to my very capable team, I'd love you all watching back home to please chime in on this segment with the tag Trending Now if you think any topics should be discussed on here. And now, team, it's very important to note that this visit that President Tinubu is going to be making to King Charles is very different from the one that General Babangida made in 1989. That was under military rule, while this is under democratic rule. And that visit had a lot of Commonwealth symbolism, but Nigeria now finds herself in a more democratic and sovereign state than our last visit. So this is very symbolic of a new partnership between the United Kingdom and Nigeria.
Yes, certainly. This visit is very important. Very notably, the king, the royal family, actually invited the president. We should not ignore one thing, the fact that we are now living in a changing world, moving from unipolarity, to multipolar world. And already Nigeria has already commenced trade in national currency. Nigeria being seen as a part of the Commonwealth country, Britain is bound to have some economic interest in Nigeria, which they owe to, through the royal family, to push their own economic agenda. I'm sure our president knows that.
Yeah. Coming at a time that, we saw President of the United States, Donald Trump, acknowledge the presence of our First Lady. It's just beautiful to see that Nigeria is getting this recognition. I believe that oftentimes we don't respect, our leaders. When our leaders go outside, they're treated with more respect. And this has to do with a lot of Nigerians. I think that we also need to accord our leaders the respect that they truly deserve. I'm happy that the president is actually going, to honor this visit. Nigeria and UK have always had this very beautiful relationship. We see a lot of students that go to UK to school. We see a lot of people in UK that also come to Nigeria as well. I think it's a beautiful one. Great conversations will be had as well. And we know that the president is the chief marketer of Nigeria. He is the one that will go out and sell Nigeria as a very beautiful country, as a giant of Africa that we are. So this is a good positioning for Nigeria as well in the international stage.
Nigeria is beginning to wake up. Nigeria is beginning to do something big, and then even the former World Bank, when she came to Nigeria meeting the president, said she often makes Nigeria a point of reference for other presidents whenever she's talking to them or talking about an economy of a nation that is waking up. So even your former colonial master would definitely say, "Hey, I used to have a colony. Guys, how can we come together?" And if you look at Nigeria-UK relations, it has, from time immemorial. UK holds the largest diaspora of Nigerians. When you go to forgotten this Peckham in the UK, you think you're on the street of Lagos. Yeah. Even in central London, it's more like you're even on the street of Lagos. Yeah. With the kind of songs, the Burna Boy of this world, Davido, all of that, you see their song being blasted, right there in the environment. So 8 billion pounds has been recorded annually as trades, between Nigeria and the UK. Even security, they'll be talking about security, and it's not the first time they are meeting. I think they met sometime in 2023 on the sideline, of COP23 in Dubai or so. They also met in 2024. So it's a beautiful one. So we see Nigeria realigning as against, what we see US and some other country. This is going to be beautiful. I can't wait to see it.
Now, Mr. Shomi, do you think Nigeria's positioning has changed or strengthened in the past 37 years between our last state visit and now? And why do you think no other heads of states have visited on an official state visit in 37 years? What do you think the reason for that is?
Yeah, certainly, because we've been doing the same thing the same way, expecting different results, and the whole world kept looking at us. Now we're doing some things differently from how we used to do them, and yet the world is now noticing what we're doing. Don't forget that even Elon Musk, the world richest human being, commented on the fact that we contributed to global GDP output, up to 1.5%, which is remarkable, for a country like Nigeria. So therefore, we are doing a lot of things differently, and we're getting a lot of things right. So the world is noticing us.
Of course, yeah, and it's no doubt that we're the giants of Africa. And I say this oftentimes, Olamide, it's we that we do not respect what we have. We do not know the gold that we're sitting on. That's why most of the times we're criticizing Nigeria. And when the president goes on visit like this, we do not understand the implications. I think that if we understand that, position Nigeria very well in the global brand, will do a whole lot for us. I'm really hoping that the president will also talk about the visa as well. It should be easy for Nigerians to be able to get visa to go to the UK and vice versa. That's something very important, because most Nigerians are denied visa to the UK, even when most of them are going to school or exchange programs. So I think that that's something he should look at. But I think as Nigerians, we need to be excited when the president is going on, conversations like this, because security will be spoke about, job opportunities. There's so many things that we can get from that relationship between Nigeria and the UK.
And so, speaking about Elon Musk, as you said, Mr. Shomi, I think he used the tag the balance of power is changing, because when you mention country like China, you mention country like India, both Asian countries, contributing almost 43%, to the global GDP, and then you see United States coming afterwards, and you see Nigeria on number 6. That's to say that, Nigeria is actually, rising up there. So it is one beautiful thing. So when we are meeting with King Charles, certainly, I believe that the Prime Minister, Starmer, will also be there. Kemi Bedonok would like to also see you meeting
and
the president.
for good news, actually.
Team, I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a moment, because I have been on the social media streets reading through comments, and a lot of public sentiment is containing the fact that there's been a decline in the monarchy. They are saying this role of imperialism is falling. People no longer believe in the monarchy as master. But I think this visit is very symbolic in Nigeria's positioning. So show me, what do you make of naysayers that are saying, the monarchy is dead anyway? There's a decline in imperialism in the modern world.
No, that's not actually correct. You need to go to so many countries, you see the role the monarchy is still playing, even in liberal democracies, whether it's Norway, we're talking about, whether it's Norway, whether it's United Kingdom, whether it's Netherlands, name it, they're still playing very important role. In the case of UK, the monarchy are usually used to, to foster, to highlight issues around their foreign policy, and also drive their own economic benefits. And I'm sure our president will be very ready, to ensure that we have a mutually beneficial relationship.
Indeed.
So therefore, the monarchy may be on the decline in some areas in terms of the level of support, for the monarchical system, but they are still very relevant in liberal democracy.
I'm sure we can go on and on, but unfortunately we have to go. And I think that as Nigerians, we should not always criticize. Let's support. This is a Nigeria that we have. It's only Nigeria that we have, so we need to hold it very well. Thank you so much, Olamide. Those were very fantastic stories. Thank you. Well, this is where we close the curtains for today. It's been a fantastic show, if you agree with me. But let's let you know that the views and reactions of our resource persons are theirs, and they have no connection whatsoever with TVC.